Hey folks, how we doing? It's your boy, DM Cerberus, aka Cerb, aka Kai, and we are back once again for a little bit of Dungeons and Dragons. Now, it has been a hot minute since we've been able to do it on stream here. I'm super excited to be able to do it. And we do have all of our players ready to be able to do so today. Let me just turn down this music, it's just gotten a little bit loud there. There we go, that's a little better. But before we do get into all of that, I did just want to take a moment to say hello to everyone, see how everyone's doing. Zen, Josh, Steamy, Lightning Hound, Maddie, Clara, good to see you all. Hope everyone is doing incredibly. We got players in this game. Hells yeah, we got the players, we got the DM, we got the monsters, all played by the DM. We got it all. We just maybe don't have a dragon. That'll come later, I'm sure, folks. But yes, we are going to be jumping in and getting started in just a moment. We do have Hounds and Kitten in Discord with us. Kat and Raz are currently just in a different VC having a quick chat. I'm sure they won't be long, and I'm sure they'll be with us soon. But we do have some kind of more outer character stuff that we're going to be dealing with for the start of the stream. And then once that's done, well, we'll be getting into the game good and proper, folks. We're going to run through our first full Dungeons and Dragons session on stream, and I'm very, very excited. Anyway, without much further ado, let's go say hello to Raz, who has just jumped in, Kitten, and Hound. See how everyone's doing.
Hello.
Hey, folks.
Oh. Hang on.
Incredible. I think we got everyone.
Yeah, we do, yeah.
Hello.
Lovely
mute.
stuff.
Hang on. So, there.
Hanging on.
There! It's working! I managed to make it work.
Great ad out of it.
Ah, it's working!
Wonderful. I think I've got everyone turned up correctly. I will just have to wait and see, I guess. I don't...
Mic test.
I think it sounds alright. I think we've got everyone balanced kind of well there, so we will just see how it goes. So, how is everyone doing before we do get into anything, really?
Good.
Pretty good. Everything's kind of calmed down now.
Glad to hear it.
Fantastic.
Glad to hear it. Oh, damn. Steamy coming in with the raid already. Hey, my dude.
Nice.
I appreciate it. Back in just 2 seconds. Yeah, Steamy, my dude, much appreciated. I super appreciate it, love. Hope you're having a wonderful night.
We're just discarded, left on the side.
No, I just wanted to take a moment without shouting over everyone.
The
I
life
thought
of
you'd already gone.
the life of a D&D player. Disregarded on the side of the street. Thrown to the DM's ambitions.
Well, guys, quickly, we'll just hold a sign up that says "Looking for DM."
Looking for a DM.
Please return us to DM.
If found, please return to DM Cerberus. Will that be DM Cerberus?
Feel free to foster us.
Please, we need help.
We will pay in good roleplay.
So, obviously we've got a couple of things that we do need to go over and run through before we do get into the actual session itself. Downtime. Downtime is something that I'm tracking for all of you. You don't have to track it. If you want to, you're more than welcome to. But it is something that I will be keeping an eye on. As I've mentioned, I'm going to be giving you all 30 days of downtime, or 30 units of downtime to start with. And of course you can spend it now if you'd like to work towards something. Or you can look to save it for another time when you actually know kind of which direction you wish to take with it.
I have an idea of what I would like to do.
Fantastic. I'm just making an area on my spreadsheet here specifically for downtime. And is this what we had discussed previously?
Indeed, it's an invocation that will eventually allow warlocks to cast rituals.
Yes. So
I would like to spend my downtime almost bypassing the time restraint on being able to uphold that, but in the way of me gaining my experience back from you know of.
Yes. Okay. I will say that that would be akin. It'd be akin to maybe a high-level invocation. I'd say maybe 25 successes needed at that one.
Okay, that's fine, might be.
Ooh,
So
okay.
obviously this is something that you may not get now, but something that you can work towards, no problem.
To be honest, I won't be able to use it until level 3 anyway, because I still need to have the prerequisite of having Pact of the Tome, which I do not have access to yet.
Yes. So I'll say for you, what kind of roll are we going to make you do for that one? I will ask you to do a straight charisma roll, because it's relating to your tie with your patron that's granting you this additional ability, something that they don't tend to grant to people.
That is fine. I shall do the successes for you later.
Wonderful. I mean, if you want to roll some now, you're more than welcome to. So it's
Going
25.
straight full 30.
DC 15. Invocation of Rituals. Okay, so I've got that marked down for you. So
yeah, it'll be creating the actual invocation is if I remember it, where is it? I believe it's Book of Ancient Secrets, I think. Yeah.
Is that an invocation that's already in the game as a feat then?
I believe it is in the game already. Let me get back to you on that. If not,
Yeah,
it's...
no worries. Well, I'll keep it as 25 DC 15. If it comes back as a feat, 25 is what I was going to look to do for feats anyway.
Fantastic.
So it fits with that. Cool. Well, I'm just going to move down my list and pick on the next person. Painted. I know
Hi.
that you had a few thoughts on what you wanted to do with your downtime.
Yes, I am working towards the healer feat. So basically,
Yes.
hang on, let me just find exactly what it does. Healer. Hopefully that will. There we go. So it is. You are an able physician, allowing you to mend wounds quickly and get your allies back in the fight. You gain the following benefits, which is use a healer's kit to stabilize a dying creature, and
Yep.
then they regain 1 hit point. And then as an action, you can spend a kit to restore 1d6 plus 4 hit points plus additional hit points equal to creature's maximum number of hit dice. So that is basically what I will be working towards. It is a feat in the game.
Wonderful. that means that there is no extra work needed on my part to write something custom for you. I always appreciate that. Wonderful. So again, you're more than welcome to do your rolls, whether on Roll20 or if people are preferring to roll dice physically. If you've
Oh,
got
can
physical
I?
dice, you are more than welcome to. Just like that first session. You don't have to do Roll20. You can because it's easy, or if you prefer to roll the dice and do the adding yourself, more than welcome to do that yourself.
Oh my goodness, yes. 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 Okay. That would be great. How many, or like what do you need for that?
So for you, for the healer feat, let's have a look, see what would make sense for your character to use. I'm gonna say it'd be a medicine check. I know that you're not proficient, but you still do have pluses to it, so it's +2 for each roll. And again, because it's a feat, it'd be 25 successes needed with a DC of 15. So you have to roll 13 or higher, basically, on the dice.
Are you doing anything with crits, my friend?
Crits count as 2 successes. Crit fails don't matter.
Okay.
So medicine check 25 successes, and was it over 50? You said.
You've got to roll 15 or higher. So
15
you'd
and
roll a
higher, so
d20.
DC is 50.
Yeah, so you'd roll a d20, and then add your +2 from your medicine skill, and as long as that end result is 15 or higher, that's a success, and you can just continue rolling.
Okie doke. Cool, I can do that.
Fantastic. So, Michael, I can see that you're rolling all of your dice, so I'm guessing that you're going
I have
to
10,
let me...
10 out of the 30 rolls I have now done. I succeeded on 10. Well, technically 9, but one was a crit.
Damn. It's unfortunate, dude, but I'm sure you'll get there soon enough.
That's fine.
It's a good start towards it, though. Definitely a very good
A
start
third
towards
of the
it.
way there. It's fine by me.
Lovely stuff. Well, I believe that's everything for Painted there. She'll get back to me with those rolls. Kat, did you have anything that you wanted to do with your backstory, or not backstory, downtime even, at the moment?
I did, but I cannot remember for the life of me right now.
It was a little while ago. Let me have a quick look at your character sheet and just see if there's anything that jogs my memory. You were wanting to learn alchemy. That was it. Because,
yes.
Or was it herbalism? No, you've got herbalism already as a proficiency. And it was alchemy that you were going to be looking to work towards. Now, alchemy is going to be a little abstract in the way it works exactly. What I will say is to become an alchemist, to be able to perform alchemy, would be the same as a feat, so it'd be 25 successes, DC of 15. And for you, for alchemy, I would say that would be nature checks, which is a +3. So let me make a quick note of that one. DC 15. Cool. So because alchemy is something that you need to kind of work at, and there'll be kind of different stages of it. It'll be something custom that I'll be making myself, kind of thing. I'll kind of go into a bit more detail with you at some point with that, and we'll kind of figure out some more things about how it's going to work and how you're going to use it in character and where you can gather herbs and just all that stuff. Kind of, I'll figure out and go through it with all of you.
Okie dokie.
Wonderful. So if you want to roll dice, you're more than welcome to. You do have 30 units of downtime. So each roll is an attempt, and you've got to roll DC 15. So for you, you'd have to roll a 12 or higher because you get a +3 to your nature skill. So you can either do that on roll 20 or again, if you've got real dice, you're more than welcome to do it on there as well.
Suddenly I've been so confused.
So you have 30 units of downtime
Mm.
to use. You need to succeed 25 times to be able to get the feat, which will be the alchemy feat. To succeed, you need to roll at least 15 on the dice, and for you, the skill that you'll be using for that roll is your nature skill. So on your character sheet, you'll see that you've got a +3 to nature. So you would have to roll at least 12 for it to meet the level that you've got to beat. So the DC of 15, you've got to make that each time you roll. If you succeed, it adds 1 onto the total. If not, then you don't make any progress in learning that feat, that skill.
Alright, So which dice am I rolling?
So
again?
it'd be a D20 +3, and you'd want to get at least a 12 on the dice to succeed. So I'll come back to you. Let me know how
Okie
many
dokie.
out of 1, if you're using all your downtime, or if you're only using like part of it. Let me know how many rolls you've made, and
Okie
2, how many successes you've had.
dokie.
Wonderful. And last but by no means least, Hound, my friend.
Hello there.
So, obviously a few people do have a few ideas on what they're doing there. I can't remember, was there something that you wanted to do with your downtime?
There was I'll be honest, I should have wrote it down, but I
Again,
recall
it
having
was
a
back, so.
having a couple ideas. One of them, I believe we called it was calling hits for certain limbs and certain
Yes, so I remember that now when we discussed that, because you're going to be playing as a you're looking to go Battle Master, aren't you? So you'll have different maneuvers that you can
we're going Battle Master, and then eventually I think we talked about potentially was it multi-classing into Barbarian?
Yeah, I know that's kind of the future there, yeah. Cool, so what I'll do is I will again treat it as a feat, and it will basically give you additional maneuvers that you can use as part of Battle Master.
Okay.
So again, because it's a feat, it'll be 25 successes needed,
There.
DC 15, and for you, let's change it up a bit. I'm actually going to ask you to make attacks with your club.
Okay.
Just because that's kind of your just your generic kind of role that you'd be using most of, kind of thing.
Okay. And how do you do the multiple rolls?
So Raz did that using the advanced dice roller. So you can either, on the left hand side of roll 20, you can click on dice, and at the bottom it's got advice dice roller, and you can put X amount of whatever you're rolling, or X amount of this, X amount of that.
Okay.
That way, or you can just click it multiple times from your character sheet.
Okay, that's going to be a lot. So,
Mr. DM,
Yes.
I have 15 successes.
15. Very nice. Over halfway there.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. Although, like, I had only 13 good rolls out of 30, so... Yeah.
It's one of those, it happens, but it's okay.
You did better than average.
I got two 20s, so, like, you know, yay!
Yeah, no, 100%.
So on the advanced roll, do I need to do the +3 to the bludgeoning, or just
Add
You-
it manually, like when you've
Yeah,
rolled it.
because when you do multiple dice, what Roll20 does is adds them together.
Yeah.
So what you'll manually have to do is after you've rolled 10 of them, for example, just
What's your
add,
DC first? 15.
DC 15. So you got to be rolling
So-
10s or
and
higher.
if
Okay.
And you can do what
So-
Anara did just there, is roll 30 d20, and then you just go along and add, or just look at it as you've got to roll 10 or higher.
All right. So if I'm doing this right,
Yep. So, yeah, we just need to figure out how many of those are successes.
let me bust out my handy dandy calculator.
Um,
600, yeah. 600 would be max. Is it?
Well, we're not looking at what they all add up to, as it were, in total. We're looking at each individual roll. It's just the way that Roll20 adds them all together.
Ah, I see. Cool. Did it
Um,
have to be 10 or higher?
Yeah, so for Parok, they need to be 10 or higher. For Inara, they need to be, I think it was 12 or higher. 6, 7, 8.
for me it was right the same, I had to do 12 or higher.
Oh, 13, 14,
If I'm counting right, Inara, is that 19 successes for you there?
Me? I'm below
Inara,
average.
for Cat.
I'm counting 17.
Because it's, for you it's 12 or higher, isn't it?
E.
That you've got to roll. 2, 3. 20 counts double, so it would be 19.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Right.
you have made quite a chunk out of your alchemy there. 19 out of 25.
Yay.
I might need to prep something for next session.
The dice
And,
have not been averaging except on me.
I'm counting 20 for me.
Okay, yeah, I did see there were quite a few very nice rolls.
And I've spent all the good rolls on this.
I mean, you never know. It could be the case, but you could just roll really, really well this session and really poor the next one. Sometimes that's the way it is.
It do be like that sometimes.
DC 15. Okay, cool. Wonderful. Well, I've got everyone's things tracked there. So everyone used all of their downtime there. I'm guessing.
Yep, it looks like it.
Yep, yep.
Run.
I keep forgetting that I've added like sound alerts and stuff to my number pad, so whenever I go to use it to type something in, I have sound alerts go off my ear.
It do
Beautiful.
be like
Yeah, everyone in chat is just like, suddenly, run.
Run.
Cool. What else do I need to double check? Everyone's armor class. I think I've got them all down correctly here. So, Raz, you have AC of 13.
Yes, not changed, I don't think.
Wonderful. Cat and Painted, I believe both of you actually have an AC of 16.
I do, yes.
anything.
Wonderful, wonderful. And then Hound, you should be 16/18, depending on if you're holding your shield or not, I believe. It
Yes.
should say 18 on your sheet, because you typically have your shield if you're fighting. Cool.
Yep.
Just because I know that some of these numbers, especially max HP, have changed. Because I'll need to be tracking that as well, just because last time it was for level 1, you're now level 2. Raz, max HP?
17.
17, lovely stuff. Cat, what's your words max HP there?
19.
Nice, nice.
Hey!
Painted, is that the same for you as well, though, is it?
19 as well, yes.
Hey, love
I'm
it.
not the squishiest.
No, that is definitely your warlock. And Hound, I believe you're like 22 or something.
Yep, 22.
Lovely stuff. And passive perceptions, I'll just double check, make sure I've got those correct. Raz, yours is 11.
Say again, sorry.
Is yours 11? I've got
Passive
passive perception.
passive perception. It sounds about right. 2 seconds. It is, yes.
Wonderful. Cat, your passive perception, so that should show under your skills there. Is that 15?
It should be.
Wonderful. Painted 14?
16.
16. You have proficiency in that. Cool.
Yeah, and it's expert.
Yes. And Hound, yours is 10?
Yes.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
It just means that he's got an average wisdom. He can spot things as well as the average person. But yeah, no, I think that is everything in regards to downtime, updating that. Anyone got anything that they want to throw at me before we do look to get back towards the story?
Yes. Let us return.
Wonderful.
Maracas! Yay!
Okay, so taking us all back into the worlds of the Sword Coast, to one of the gleaming cities called the City of Splendor on the coastline. A place that each of you have found your own way to through various means. And the past evening was rather tense. You arrived and weren't able to enter the city. And once you actually found somewhere to stay, the owner was attacked. You apprehended the would-be assassin before they got away, and the guards took them in. You were advised at the time that you should report to the Citadel the following day to report that you were there in regards to apprehending them, because they'd like to corroborate your stories, confirm your report, and perhaps, due to the fact that you assisted in such a matter, there may be also a gift, a prize, a compensation for stepping in, let's say. But as all of you kind of take a moment, the battle with the assassin, or would-be assassin, has only really just finished. Only moments ago, they were dragged away by the guards of the city, heading through one of the small kind of guard portcullises to one side so the gate isn't opened. They seem to take that dangerous individual that you've been hearing about into the city under guard. And you find yourselves resting, ready to go to rest, really. Before you gather round, you find the sounds of the shanty town start to fall silent at this time of night. You do realise it's actually starting to get a little bit late, possibly around 10 or even 11 in the evening. And you do realise you've got a couple of options. You can go back to the Bumbling Barrels to stay for the night, or you can search for different accommodation, whether that be another inn or another tavern, or finding just somewhere to get your head down. What's the plan, folks? What are you going to do?
For any of that, I will stop the coughing fit, the fake one I did beforehand, and sort of look at Peruk and be like, "You need to keep your mouth quiet on matters we know very little on."
I know. I made a mistake. Sometimes my honor t- commands me to tell the truth.
I'll have a big warm smile for you, like a grandfather, and be like, "It's quite okay. We'll make a man out of you someday." Just slap him. I just absently look around.
As you look around, you do notice the activity definitely in the immediate area. There is none. Further out, heading into the shanty towns / slums that you find yourself in, there is still a little bit of movement, like a little bit of activity happening here and there, but it seems that everything is definitely quieting down for the night.
Sort of pause and be like, "I haven't been here for a long time. I have no idea where I'm going." And I'll just look to the rest of the party and be like, "You? I think we should stick together."
While Michael is talking to Perok and kind of like extending that warm hand of like fatherliness, Letty's just like heaving the bow back onto her or back into its position, and rolled her eyes at them and started kind of like going back to the inn because she's already paid for it, so might as well stay there.
You got a point. You have all paid for rooms in the inn.
If I remember, the owner is dead.
And
As far as you could tell, it was very much
That,
in the
that, that was me
moment.
asking out of character, sorry.
Um,
that was Letty replying like, and
yeah, I can't remember
Wait,
exactly.
two?
I think
I
he
don't
was
think we know.
dying, but
So I tried to-
He
I
think
tried to
he
use my
died.
healing on him, and he was dead.
Yeah, he got the big dead.
I'm pretty
cool.
sure.
Then
Oof.
yes, he is dead. I couldn't quite remember because again, it's been a little while. So.
You do be like
I'll,
that.
I'll turn around to them as they go. The owner is dead. I did double check before we stood out.
So I've never done this before, but do we get a refund because he's gone?
Just sort of one sort of eye on you, and then one at the tavern, and like, I don't know the answer to that question. Have customs changed in the past century? I think.
why would the death of an innkeeper affect our ability to stay there?
You have me there.
I don't know. This is the first time I've ever been here. I don't know the customs.
I think it's still an inn that needs its keep, especially now that it's changed its owners.
I'd say take advantage that you got a place to sleep now rather than wait and risk it.
Sounds good to me.
like-
Let's go.
Sounds like wise talk. And my bones are getting weary.
Well, by the sounds of it, you're all going to head back to find lodging at the Bumbling Barrels. As you do head back and you enter, the scene seems to have been cleaned up mostly. You can still see some bloodstains around, but it seems that the wife of Brian, the previous owner of the Bumbling Barrels, is kind of stood there very kind of out of it almost, just by the bar being a presence here. You do notice that the place has emptied out since you've left, and as you enter, she looks to you, looks up the stairs, and then goes back to staring kind of absent-mindedly at the bar.
Letty
Oh.
walks over to her and just looks at her for a second, as if to just like check in, like how she's doing. So insight check if I could.
Yeah, definitely, definitely roll an insight check on that one. Anyone else that wants to do so, you're more than welcome to.
What?
There it is. Oof.
What kind? So it's an insight check.
Insight, yeah.
I'll try it.
Cool.
Oof.
You know what? Michael, you want to roll as well, just for sake of it?
Michael is probably a tad too busy looking around the blood, so
That's
and a bit absent.
That's fair enough. The three of you, Letty, Parok, Inara. It's hard to read. She is a grieving woman, and has just seen that brutality play out almost in front of her. You would almost definitely consider her almost shell-shocked at the moment. The reality of the actual situation hasn't struck. But from all of her intentions, you can tell that she just wants to be left alone.
I'm gonna go up behind Nara quietly and sort of lean into their ear, be like, maybe a sense of reassurance that her killer's been captured. Well, that her husband's their killer has been captured, and you know.
Letty overhears this because she's
Yeah.
like paying attention at the moment.
Yeah, you're all kind of
Um,
in close proximity of one another.
And now that she's kind of like realized that this is a grieving person, that she didn't have any hand in like what happened to Brian, she's almost taken back to that moment with Gemgwen, and she finds that tiny bit of connection. So she looks at her almost softly, as she could, just asking, like, would we still be okay to stay here?
And silently, she nods and just looks at the stairs again. You would know from being told previously that up the stairs you would find the various rooms that have been already kind of pre-assigned to you. I'm fairly certain that we did all of that last session there, where we kind of set everything up in regards to like you would each have rooms that were kind of pre-organized when you organized that with Brian. So you would know which rooms typically you had been given keys for and things like that.
Thank you.
So Parag just kind of speaks up just a little bit because he understands that this is a really heavy situation. And he says, "Ma'am, I'm sorry for your loss. A great friend of mine sort of held Brian in high regards, and he was said that this was the best place for companionship and to have a good laugh and good time. And while he may be gone now, just to let you know, we did manage to capture the individual who did this to him, and they will meet their due process."
And with that, she kind of... There definitely does seem to be a little bit of a reaction that you weren't expecting. Kind of rage kind of comes across her face, and she looks up to meet your eyes with an intensity that you weren't expecting, Rock. Good. I hope justice finds that little bastard. And with that, she kind of almost turns back to the bar, almost dismissing all of you, not wanting to continue on kind of with that conversation.
Michael's going to very slowly go up the stairs and go through his room as he sort of just nods at the situation.
Wonderful. Well, you find your way up to your room, no problem. It's a fairly sparsely decorated room, very in fitting with the actual area that you find yourself in, just outside of the city. Like I've mentioned before, the slightly more run down, slum-like area. But it's still serviceable. You have a bed. You have a chest at the foot of the bed, which you can put your belongings in. There's a small table and a stool next to it, a bucket of clean water, kind of all the provisions you would need. Not necessarily everything that you would want, but everything that you would need would be provided.
I will put all my sort of disheveled items neatly on the table, and then take out a horrible.
Hang on, your mic's breaking up just a little bit there, mate.
Oh, is that better?
That's a bit better there.
Sorry about that. Sort of thick but sort of tattered, breaking.
Yeah, it's still
He's gone
playing
again.
up a little bit
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I saw that. Seems my voice keeps disconnecting a bit. Don't know why it's doing that. Right. I'm gonna take out this book.
Yes.
Described as breaking and dust. Although before, when I woke up, it was illegible on the cover. A small amount of legibility has returned in a language, even though I can read or writing, I still can't make out of. And I sort of sit on the bed with this, cross my legs on the bed, happily smiling, and just start turning pages to see if I recognize anything, and I'll do that until sleep takes me.
Okay, wonderful. So yes, you do continue to peruse until dreams slip into your mind. I'm presuming that everyone else is heading up to bed to rest for the night and things like that.
Letty, she does head back upstairs, but she's really struggling to shake that moment before everything kicked off, because that the fact that she reacted so strongly to seeing a fey creature, that was a first for her, and
Yeah.
she didn't know where that feeling came from, and
It
she's really
certainly could have
confused.
taken her by surprise.
So before she heads off to sleep, she actually goes and knocks on Michael's door to see, like, if she's able to gauge something from him.
Okay. Michael, just before dreams enter your mind and you feel the pull of sleep, there is a slight knock at your door.
Oh. What I'll do is that, as I am very comfortable where I am, I'm going to summon a mage hand to open the door for me.
Okay, so...
So I'll speak very quietly in an old forgotten language, summoning forth a hand that echoes the mimics of mine, and then just turn the door open and pull.
Yes. So, Letty, you hear no sound from inside the room, except perhaps some unknowable whispers, and the door slowly creaks open in front of you. As you glance inside, you do see Michael laid there, relaxing on his bed, and a mystical floating hand simply just gripping the doorknob, holding the door open.
This is different.
I wave with my hand, and then the mage hand also waves.
It copies.
What can I do for you, my dear?
Why are you here?
That's a question even I can't answer. I feel drawn to places of great change and destiny. For what purpose? I don't really know. Maybe you're the purpose. Maybe the poor fellow that was murdered was the purpose. Maybe just this city's the purpose. But all I know that I have purpose here in the city. And
Does
as
your
I
purpose
go on, my dear.
does your purpose usually hurt people?
I haven't hurt anyone since we've met. In fact, I haven't hurt anything in recent memory. Although you seemed pretty prepared to hurt me on our first meeting.
He just turns around and goes away. Back into her room.
Okay,
Sweet
Michael, you
dreams.
see her walk away.
And I'll use the mage hand to close the door.
Okay. Parok! What are you up
Yes?
to, buddy? You just heading up to bed?
Yeah, we're gonna go up to bed, and then I'm gonna sit on the edge, kind of contemplate kind of everything that's kind of transpired. It's still pretty new to everything. It's the culture shock, the watching somebody die. It kind of got to him a little bit, but
Yeah.
eventually he finds himself just kind of passing out and falling onto the bed, not even pulling the covers or anything, just laying there.
Okay. And so, yes, you slowly drift off. Sleep
And there's a
taking
loud
you
thud
into
when he hits the bed.
Yeah, a very loud thump. Doof, doof. But yes,
Mew, it's fine, it's fine.
as you fall asleep, and it takes you into its folds, you do not dream this night. Which, knowing your backstory and knowing what you have experienced in the past, could be a blessing, for once, to have no dreams. And finally, Inara,
Yes.
any plans? Or you just gonna go get some sleep?
Inara, when she goes into her room, goes straight to bed, but then quickly jumps up when she hears a loud thud. Realizing she cannot go back to sleep now, she'll just sit on her bed and stare at the wall and try to see if this was all just a nightmare or not.
Okay. One thing I will say, in the game,
Yes.
mechanically, if you do not sleep, you will start to suffer major kind of penalties.
That's
Are
good.
you going to force yourself to stay awake?
No. Instead, I'm gonna try and force myself to go to sleep
Okay, so
until I eventually do.
yes, so at some point during the night, you do manage to fall asleep. As we've reached this point, I'm going to call it as a super quick 5 minutes, just so that we can catch up on everything in chat. Grab a quick break, grab a quick drink, whatever people need, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Sure thing?
Sounds good.
Wonderful. Well, I will def myself, and I'll be back, folks. So, chat, thanks for holding on. Sorry for not getting back to you all sooner. I do have a few things I want to say, because I have seen various things coming in there. But everyone who has dropped in that I've missed there, so I think we've got Mike, Josh, of course Raz is hanging out. I appreciate all you guys dropping in. Of course, Black Cat came in with that hot rate of 5. I appreciate it, my guy. Of course, with our D&D streams, we do try and keep immersion so we don't interact with chat as much. It is something that we're trying to figure out the right balance for. It's one of those. But peace, Black Cat, it's super appreciated. Hope both of you are having a fantastic day. Anyone else who came along with that raid, hope you're having an incredible time and enjoying the story. Of course, we are just getting back into it. There is a little bit that you may not be caught up on, which you can find on YouTube under DM Cerberus Official. We actually already have the one-to-one session uploaded onto the channel there. So if anyone does want to catch up on anything that has happened, the backstories of each player, you are more than welcome to do so. I'm actually going to take a super quick break just so I can nip to the loo, and once we're back, we'll make sure to drop in, make sure all the players are all good, and then we'll get back to the story, folks. Back in a minute. Hey, folks, I'm back. Thanks for holding on there. Maddie, hope you have a wonderful rest, and I'm sure I'll catch up with you tomorrow, have a chat about how tonight went. And we are going to hop back into Discord, go say hello to everyone, and actually get back into our story here.
You asking me this question? I'm asking you this question.
Folks,
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Hello.
how are we all doing? We ready to get back into it?
Good. Yes.
Oh yes.
Fantastic. So, this is more a universal sense rather than each of you respectively waking up for it. But after resting for the night and watching the sun slowly rise, you find yourselves able to travel again. As you start preparing yourselves each morning, as you typically would, whether at home or travelling, you can all hear a deep grinding sound, almost of wood and metal against stone. For some of you that have visited the city of Waterdeep before, you would recognise this sound immediately, as the sounds of the incredibly heavy gates and doors into the city proper opening for the first time since you've all arrived.
That has definitely woken Mocha up. In a bit of a oh, with the book like on his chest, and just sort of like gather up things slowly, and then leave to go downstairs.
Okay, wonderful. As you head downstairs, you do see that there are some staff there. The bartender from last night, the wife of Paul Bryan, is not around, but you do see that there are two different staff. One is currently at the bar tending and cleaning, and the other one's currently sweeping along the floor and such.
I'll just
You
take a
would've-
seat at a table and wait for someone, the other guys, to come down.
You
Of
would have
course.
already found Letty downstairs.
Wonderful. Yes, so Michael, you walk down, and Letty is beating you to it.
I will very slowly walk towards the other side of the table where Letty is,
That's
and take
fair.
a seat. And just look at her and be like, "Did you sleep well?"
He's looking down at her porridge and just like, mm-hmm. Can I do anything for you?
Well, we need to go to the Citadel, right? It'd be best if we all go together. And safer, if there's assassins on the street.
Do we need to?
It would be wise to.
Why?
While they're going through it, Barack finally gets up, and the loud thuds as he's coming down the steps.
Yep.
As he makes his way towards the bar, looking for a pint of water, something to drink.
Yeah, so you head down, and they gladly hand you a bowl of porridge and kind of just a mug of kind of water, a tankard. And at the same time, Michael, you have a bowl of porridge handed to you as well.
Oh, this looks better than what I could ever make. Just happily eat it. Slowly.
Yes.
If I was younger, I'd do a dance.
No one wants to see that.
I would want to see it.
Oh, soon after Nora sleeps, she just rolls and technically still sleeping, falls off the bed, lands face first on the floor, just groans at the floor, going, what a nightmare, and just wakes up, stretches, rubs her face, cleans up, walks downstairs, and walks over to where everyone else is and says, so, how did everyone sleep last night?
Looks like slightly better than you.
Yes, you also seem to have a bump on your forehead.
Oh, Inara just rubs her forehead a bit. I guess you could say, I was almost falling in my sleep. You be like that.
Well, as myself and a sort of gesture toward this wood elf, whose name I do not know. What is your name, young lady?
Me?
Inaras. Wait, who? Wait, what?
I should probably, because you're both wood elves, I just remembered.
I forgot.
I'm pointing to
I
Letty.
forgot there's two wood elves.
We're both wood elves.
I'm just there like, hang on, I just remembered the
Well,
Okay.
there's one for the blooper reels.
Clear face.
I'm just there like, point to the wood. I'm seeing double. The one that is scowling at me.
I'm Lethista.
It's
Who are
lovely
you?
to make your acquaintance. My name is. I sort of pause like that.
You don't remember your own name?
It's on the tip of my tongue. Give me a moment. Let me eat the porridge first. That'll probably help. I'll just start drinking water, waiting for the old man brains to kick in. How about the other two? You? I point to the Goliath.
Brock has already finished off the porridge. He was quite the hearty eater, and he kind of like takes the back of his hand, rubs it on his face real quick to kind of clean up a little bit. Goes, I'm Parak, but you can call me Terenz.
Terenz. Beautiful. What's that language in?
That's my human name.
Oh. So,
Yes, it's a kind of a long story. Not enough time in the breakfast to go through everything.
well, then more breakfast then for him.
You
I
mean like
believe
a
we
second
have to go
breakfast?
somewhere.
Well, we do, but you didn't want to go. At least not as a group, right? Anyway, we still haven't finished the introductions, as I point to the other wood elf.
I'm just eating. Inara just eating her porridge. Looks up, huh?
Your name, my dear.
Oh, Inara, sir.
Good. That's my name. As I look at the book again, I'm like, oh, that was it. My name is Michael.
Brock reaches
Pleased
over
to
to
meet
shake his
ya.
hand.
I shake your hand back as well, yeah. But it's very feeble. Like you could crack this hand in two if you wanted to.
Yeah, Brock notices like kind of like that cold grandpa hand.
With a sense of warmth to them, really.
Oh,
Like something like akin that you couldn't. It's not like warmth because of body heat. It's warmth from something else.
Sure that you should be walking around.
What do you mean?
I mean, you seem to be quite feeble, and you've come to a town that is quite unfriendly.
I'm fine. I'm assure you I'll be fine. As I said to you last night, I have purpose here.
Very well.
Can't ignore fate now, can we? I'll sort of look at my book again and then look away. Inara, Terenz, and Letty. I propose we all go together
Sorry.
to that citadel.
Letista.
Letista.
Letista. Yeah. My goodness, I'm stumbling on myself. Yeah, Letista.
It's all good.
I'm only let you to my friends, okay?
My apologies.
but
Forgiven.
why can't we be friends? I mean, we've kind of all had this unique experience together. We're all going to the same place.
Look, whatever you are. I don't know you. I may have seen someone die with you, but that does not make us friends yet. Stuffs another spoonful of porridge into her mouth.
Well, true, true. You got me there.
No harm in keeping each other safe in this dangerous city. As we have a look around. And where is this citadel, in fact, that we've been told to go to?
All of you should be able to see the map of Waterdeep there. I'm just going to actually change my scenes. I mean, I don't know. Is sound back, folks? It looks like it's working.
It is now, yeah.
Okay, I don't quite know what happened there. I think when I made
Guess
the
this
new
had it
scene,
know.
it didn't copy the sources across. But it's the way it is.
Yeah,
But yeah, sorry for breaking emotion there. Carry on.
Oh man, I said a couple different things. Can you remind me what I mentioned?
I take out a broken quill from my back, and not a particularly nice looking bit of parchment either, and I write down the name Raphael and just push it towards you.
And I don't really know much about the name. I've seen the emblem. I remember seeing something, but I don't really know much beyond that.
I believe I may have some more knowledge. Looks at Michael. How do you know that name?
I don't. Actually. Sir, Broken has forgotten. I remember knowing something, but I can't remember exactly what.
Yes, so the night that you woke and proceeded on your travel towards Waterdeep, you had a dream. A dream that had a name kind of whispering into the end of it. The name you remember, Raphael. The dream itself, you remember a blade in your chest, the blood dripping to the floor. And then the next almost screenshot of that memory is this leering, devilish face smirking as the perspective shifts and you realise that you're actually falling to the ground. And you just that last glance of that face until everything fades into darkness, and then the whisper, Raphael, fills the rest of that memory.
It's almost like Michael goes into as you mentioned, what do you know? And he sort of goes into the old man's stare, far, like looks at you but past you, and goes, I think I may have the purpose of settling the score here with this. I point to the actual the name written on the parchment. I don't say it out loud, almost like not wanting to. I feel like something has been wronged, or something will be wronged in the near future, or in my distant past. And I think that's why I've been drawn here.
Letty points her spoon to Michael and says, see, now I have a reason to hang out with you.
Ah, fantastic! It's almost like a little brief of energy goes into him. Like almost like the porridge has finally done some energy boosting. And I
Yeah, your
feel
food
like a
has
chick is
finally
coming
kicked in.
along. As I pull out my maraca and just go, anyone that hears that will probably feel just hopefully a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's played a bit almost like he's done this before, and he just has it's almost the old man sort of face fades away as something younger brights up as he plays with the maraca, and then it resets back in as he puts it back down. Ooh.
Despite herself, you can kind of like see that Letty's like a bit on two minds. Like she doesn't want to smile at that, but she does smile at it a little, but hides it very soon by just like looking down into her porridge bowl.
He was far too occupied to notice that himself. He was just happy about teaming up.
Completely fair. So,
And then
sorry.
turn to Parok and Inara. And you two?
Rock was completely just flabbergasted by the maracas that he kind of forgot what the question was. What did you ask? I'm sorry. My train of thought went somewhere else.
Understandable. Citadel, big castle. We'll go together.
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm good. Let's do it. I mean, we all have to go anyway, because I'm sure if we don't show up, they're gonna rally the troops and they're gonna close the gates and they're gonna come after us. We might as well just go there.
Fine.
I mean, that's what I would do.
Big smile at you. Inara?
Nara looks up from her porridge. She looks a little bit pale, but she just shakes it off and then looks to Michael and just goes, "Oh, yeah, of course."
Then I think second breakfast.
Second breakfast. Parok raises his hand. He goes, "Can I get a refill of the porridge and the water?"
And Nara just chimes in, "Me too, please."
So yes, second breakfast is prepared and served to anyone that wishes it.
But
Rather
she will just have a
expediently.
cup of tea.
Wonderful. So yes, some heated water with some tea leaves and such is brought over for you.
Any fruit for old Michael?
Yep, there are a couple of apples that are perhaps past their most perfect point, but they're not going bad just yet. And so yes, each of you managed to fill yourselves up rather well on the food provided at the Bumbling Barrels, and I assume you set off.
Yeah.
So just a moment. So just to make sure, we already have all of our gear on us.
Yes,
As we get
yeah,
ready.
so
Okay.
I was leaving a little more abstract, but I assumed that everyone had brought their belongings down with them ready to go down to breakfast kind of thing. If not, obviously you run back, grab it, come back. But yes, cool. So, with that, is everyone looking to leave the tavern then?
So, from which side are we actually approaching the big castle?
So, you are actually up here in what is called Field Ward.
Gotcha.
So you're at
Okay.
the very north of the city there. It's kind of like a two-layer part of the city. You've got the wall that divides it, and the outer area, the Field Wards, is almost kind of left as slums or kind of run-down areas where people that perhaps can't quite afford to live within the city can still find ways to be near the city of Waterdeep.
And it's Castle Waterdeep that we're going to, yeah?
Yes, yeah. So you effectively, it's like I said just before, it's very easy to spot the castle, and so once you actually head through the main gates past the wall, you'll be able to see where you're going and be able to find your way. Absolutely no problem.
Cool.
And how far is it from the tavern to the castle?
Well, the city is pretty big. Thank you for bringing that up. I would probably say it would take you a good hour and a half of walking, effectively following the straight main road down from kind of the gate there all the way down to that point, and then turning to Castle Waterdeep. This is one of the largest cities on the Sword Coast and in the whole of Faerun.
So it's an hour walking.
Yes.
Okay.
You do, as you start to make your way, you do see various life kind of starting in the hustle and bustle of the Field Ward. And as you head towards the gates, there does seem to be quite a group of people that are all looking to enter. You see each of them being checked by guards to make sure they're not carrying anything dangerous, blah blah blah. A few people, more capable warrior-esque types, kind of are given a warning, you know, don't use your weapons within the city, don't cause any trouble, yada yada yada, and then they continue on from there. The music should still be playing, Raz?
I can't hear it.
In roll
Nope.
20? No, it's not been there.
Nope.
Okay. It shows it for me here. Let me just try restarting it. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
I don't know why it stopped there, but it should just be looping that one track.
There we go.
Sorry about that. But yes, as you continue on, it soon enough becomes your turn to enter. And the guards kind of wave you forward as you reach the end of the line. Each of you are fairly quickly appraised. It doesn't take more than 30 seconds or so. They kind of ask what your purpose is, kind of if you're carrying weapons, they give you a warning about violence in the city, and you know, they're very strict on it, and yada yada yada, kind of all the official stuff that you do need to be told as you enter. A couple of them do recognise you from the night before, and all of you do recognise a couple of them, and you are given no trouble as you enter into the City of Splendour, Waterdeep itself.
Whoa! It's massive! Much bigger than I remember.
Parag kind of looks around, and as we kind of went through the gate, the noise kind of got louder for him, and he realized that there's just so many people packed and walking around that it's way more than what he was ever experienced, and he kind of just pauses for a moment as he just kind of looks around.
I'll probably actually do the same as well, just sort of take in the literal splendors of the city, despite it being like a small portion of it.
Even from what you can see, the buildings here are absolutely incredible. Of course, being in North Wards, they're not quite as splendid as some of the ones down in South Wards, in Castle Wards, or perhaps even Trade Ward. But they are still a lot more fanciful than the buildings outside of the walls that you've seen. There is various hustle and bustle on the streets now. You see people in carts and carriages travelling up and down this main road. You see groups of workers, groups, small families, even perhaps other adventuring parties, similar to what people would assume that the four of you are. And as you enter the city and see all of this before you, you do notice there is actually a little cart service to one side. You see a man standing in front of a sign with a couple of carts hooked up to some horses. And he's kind of waving to anyone who's coming into the gate and kind of giving a bit of a spiel. Ride straight into the middle of the city, it will take you less than 20 minutes. Who can turn that down? 1 silver person? Gah, that's like nothing. And so you kind of hear him kind of calling out and trying to kind of drum up some business, as it were, as you do enter.
How many seats would this cart have? Can we tell?
So having a look, you can see that there's a couple of different sizes of them, depending on how many people he'd be able to fit. He'd be able to fit all of you, definitely, in a single car or carriage.
I mean, if he says that, he can take us down there and it's going to be the, 20 minutes, I think it's kind of worth it. Unless we want to kind of walk through the shops and, do some window browsing, something like that.
I think
Might be
it
okay to head straight down.
might be wise to go castle first. And then do the window shopping. Although, I look into the city itself and I wouldn't mind it. See how the world has moved on.
Have you not been here before?
Oh, a long time ago, I'm sure. But not recently.
Aye,
How old
Michael,
are
to
you?
you, as you look at the actual city itself, Waterdeep was probably half this size when you last saw it. A slight memory shifts in your mind and you remembered that fact. How small Waterdeep was in comparison to how you see it now.
It's grown twice the size since I was last here. Ah, splendidly of mortality and civilization. Oh, it gets my blood going. Let's see more.
Okay, and because you are all stood there discussing, the gentleman who's trying to kind of sell these seats on this carriage glances over and is looking at you all, seeing that you've stopped, and his eyes are starting to light up, hoping that you're going to move towards him.
Letty makes her way over.
And even after taking just a couple of steps, he steps out from behind kind of this sign where he's got himself set up and kind of rushes over to you, taking each of your hands in turn and shaking them. Greetings, greetings, it's wonderful to see you. First time to Waterdeep, I can show you all of the sights and still make it to in front of the castle in 20 minutes. And kind
Can
of
you not
starts...
touch me, please?
He kind of nods and then continues on his way, kind of ushering all of you towards one of the carts there. Does anyone resist necessarily?
I've already got the silver out for him. In actual fact, I've got his silver. It's a gold.
Well, what's this is kind of out of character. So, what's the conversion between the silver and gold?
It's 1 to 10. So, for example, 10 bronze to a silver, 10 silver to a gold.
So then, 2 gold would cover everybody, right?
I mean, it's only 1 silver each, and there's only 4
Oh.
of you, so a gold would be like over double what you'd need, kind of thing.
Oh, I mean, I know like for my character, I don't have any silver per se, unless
Yeah, so I know that on your character sheets, it's currently showing as just gold. You can, and I would argue that you probably would have some of it in silver, some of it in copper. So you are able to kind of pay your way, but not have to be like, oh, I only have gold coins, or oh, I only have bronze and I need silver coins, or something like that. You know, you can kind of slightly more abstractly change the funds that you have into whatever coin or currency you'd need it to be. Unless I do have a specific currency that you have to find, I'll be treating it effectively that way for the rest of the campaign.
all right.
I still have a gold out ready for him.
Fantastic. And seeing the gold coin in your hands, his face lights up and says, "Oh, paying for your friends as well? What a gentleman! What a good, kind soul this man is!" And he kind of pats you on the back and actually helps you up into the carriage, taking the gold coin from you.
Oh, keep the change, sir. Keep the change. The
Most
change-
kind, my good sir. I will see if I can get it down
Wait.
to 15 minutes for you, huh? How does that sound?
No, take a little longer. I'd like to see the city.
He kind of raises an eyebrow and then gives you a nod and pockets the coin, and continues to usher everyone else on. Specifically, not touching Lethista, letting her find her own way onto the actual cart itself. But once everyone is on, he hops onto the front, picks up the reins, snaps them just a little, just to get the horse's attention, and you hear him kind of calmly call out, "Hey girl, let's get going. It's time to head through the city once again." And as he goes, he starts pointing out various parts of the city to you. So as you're riding, he goes, "So the area within the walls of the city is broken up into various different areas. We're currently in the North Ward, quite a nice humble place, not too bad at all. Over to our right," and he kind of points over towards the west direction. You've got the Sea Wards that kind of lines a lot of the coast of the city. You've got the Field of Triumph, and you can see and almost hear kind of fanfare coming from off to the west of you. You're unsure exactly what's happening, but it sounds like something. And as he continues on, he kind of points out a few different places, buildings here and there, an odd tavern that he's drunk at, and just different places. He does then, as you continue on, 10-15 minutes into the ride now, he points out that you're moving kind of from the North Wards towards the Castle Ward, Trade Ward district. And as you do so, you do definitely notice the difference in the construction of the buildings and the actual architecture. Certainly a little more care and time has been taken with the buildings that you're coming across now. Some of them with big arching windows and beautiful actual structural kind of architecture. All of you kind of noticing, okay, this is a lot bigger, a lot more than what each of you are used to, actually. As
Letty was
Sorry,
when she stepped into the city, she was not overly phased, but even she cannot kind of like help but be a bit impressed by this place now.
yeah, it's certainly getting into the richer part of the city, as it were. As you do continue down, he does then gesture off to the east, and as you make your way down, he points out the kind of the main cemetery or burial area within the city, which is called the City of the Dead. Again, some of you would know a little about the gods and know that certain gods would hold domain over death. If they were going to be kind of followed and revered in the city, that's where you're going to find kind of that district there. As you do continue on, you see a place called the Plinth. In fact, you almost ride directly past it. Nowhere near as big as Castle Waterdeep. The Plinth itself is a kind of... what's the best way to describe this? It's a concentrated area of various different faiths, beliefs, brought across from various parts of the nation. The plinth itself is used and treated as a holy building, as much as one would treat a church, or a mosque, or some other building. But this is non-specific. This can be used to revere any of the gods within any of the pantheons. So passing this place, you do definitely get quite a splash of colour within the culture of the people there. You see various different races and styles of clothing that you've never seen before. And you continue on. He kind of points out a few other places, the trade ward and the south ward. He detours just a little bit just to show you a little more. As he takes you through the trade ward, the south wards, and then back up towards Castle Waterdeep. And so, as he slows to a stop, each of you looking to the castle ahead of you. As mentioned before, you most definitely need to crane your necks upwards to look at the full height of this build. It is rather breathtaking how large this is, and it makes you feel incredibly small. Even you, Parok, easily the biggest of the group. This dwarfs you in comparison to, well, yourself. And it's a little awe-inspiring as the gentleman comes to a stop and he turns to smile to all of you. So, we've arrived at the castle. It sounded like you had business here, so I figured instead of dropping you off at the plinth, I'd drop you here.
You are an astute gentleman. And good at your job, it seems.
Ah, well, thank you very much, kind sir. Kind words like that help keep my heart beating. And he seems just very jolly and jovial, considering perhaps the demeanour of the group at the moment. Everyone does seem a little subdued and quiet, perhaps from the happenings of the night before. And so you will disembark. Sorry, carry on.
That's
He
fine.
hops off.
I actually decided not to speak then.
Yeah. So he helps any one of you that needs assistance in disembarking, and the four of you
Let's
find
just like
Sorry,
she
carry on.
just plumps on the ground.
Yep, I figured as much. You just literally hop off the cart onto the ground, no problem. Inara most likely does the same. But as the four of you are stood there, looking up at the citadel, the great doors in front of you, and the various guards, you know that you've been summoned here. But where to go exactly? You're unsure.
So where are we supposed to go? I know he said to show up, but I don't think he really gave us a room number or anything, did he?
They mentioned the Citadel, so maybe asking someone who knows more.
Maybe Terrence, was it? Sorry. Maybe you'd be the best person to try and approach them. You'll have that look of military.
I mean, I can try.
That's a good lad.
Barack looks around now that he feels like he's on the spot, and he feels like he's living this persona that he has to be like the guy. He's looking around and he's trying to find like anybody in a suit of armor protecting a gate or protecting a door.
Yeah, so you do see that there are about 4 guards all up towards the front, the actual doors to this this castle, the entranceway. And these are big doors. You're probably looking at 20 or even 30 foot high. Still dwarfed by the giant doors at the gates of the city at the walls that you weren't able to enter through. But they're definitely not something to turn your nose up at. But you do see that there are definitely a few guards in the regalia of the city, in the actual the kind of coat of arms that has been set as the official guard uniform, as it were. you definitely recognise them from the guards that you saw outside the gate last night and this morning, and you would know that they would be the people to speak to.
So Parak, he walks up to one of the guards and he makes sure he gives him a good breath, a distance. And he speaks up and goes, "Pardon me, gentlemen. We were summoned here last night by, I believe it was a commander of the troop, regarding an incident, of a very important incident last night. Would you happen to know where I could either meet this commander or meet this individual?"
So with that, a couple of them glance to each other, and one steps forward to kind of actually speak to you, so you're not having to call across this awkward kind of little bit of space it's not too much, but it's enough that it feels like kind of weird. So he approaches you to speak to you. Yes, if you have been summoned to the Citadel, we can certainly allow you inside. There is various members of staff within that will be able to guide you to wherever you need to go. And kind of with that, he's kind of turning to signal to the other guards, but hears you go to say something, turns back.
Oh, okay. It's me and my three companions. We were just kind of confused on everything. Most of us, this is our first time here, and so we're just a little bit of a culture shock. And he's a little nervous, but he's also trying to like fight the nervousness.
And he kind of gestures to the guards to open the door, and you all hear the heavy sounds of it creaking as it starts to move. And he turns back to you. No, it's quite alright. There are many new travellers that visit the city many days of the year. Like I said, if you would just like to head inside, on your left you will see a desk, and there should be someone there to assist you.
Oh, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And Parak looks over his shoulder and then like waves his arm for the other three to come up.
I quite happily shuffle toward him.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm guessing all of you do there. Wonderful. So, as you continue on your way, excuse me, you head inside and you can see this is a huge hall, and there's plenty of hustle and bustle. You see clerics and clerical staff going in various different directions, carrying paperwork, kind of having conversations that seem to be very specific and very boring at the same time, and various different things that are happening. But as you kind of enter this hubbub and you see kind of this almost chaos in front of you, you do hear a soft voice kind of almost ring out over the top of that noise, coming from your left. And as you look over, you see that there is a high elven woman who kind of looks over to you all and raises a hand to gesture you to come over to her. Hello, yes, do you have business within the Citadel?
Alright, come on.
Sorry. Parak looks. He kind of looks around. He's like, "Oh man, really? I really." And like his internal monologue is like, "Oh man, what did I do? How did I get into this?" He looks at the individual in front of him and says, "Ah yes. So last night, me and my companions here, we were summoned in regards to a very important incident that occurred. There wasn't many details, but I'm sure they know we're here."
She kind of raises an eyebrow and appraises each of you, before looking down to a few different sections of paperwork, kind of picking through a couple of bits. Goliath, 2 Wood Elves, and a Satyr. Yes, I remember seeing a notice about this. Where has it gone? She kind of rifles through some papers and then pulls out a single sheet. Yes, I can see here that you've been requested to report on the occurrences of last night in regards to the dangerous individual that was apprehended by yourselves. Well, thank you very much for your service to the city. And she gives you all each a kind of a smile and a very much warm, disarming kind of vibe comes off of I will certainly make sure to summon the relevant people for you so that they may come and speak to you. If you'd like, you can take a seat just over there, and she gestures just to one side where there seem to be various different seats and stuff, kind of kept as almost a waiting area.
All right, I'll let our team know. And Parak turns around and looks at him and says, "Oh, so we're gonna have to wait. I guess the right people are gonna come to us. We're not gonna go to them yet."
Did
That
she say
sounds
how
fine.
long?
Well, as you are all discussing this, you would notice, and who notices this one? Sorry, hang on. It would be both Letty and Inara would notice that the receptionist, let's say, kind of stands, kind of brushes herself down, takes the notice from on top of the stack of papers, and rather briskly seems to rush off in a certain direction deeper within the citadel. You do definitely get a sense of urgency from the way that she's moving, so you can definitely assume that they're wanting to speak to you quite quickly.
Meanwhile, Michael just takes a seat down.
Yep,
Hmm.
old man gotta take a seat sometimes.
Just goes, lovely. Well, these people are rather nice.
Mm-hmm.
Inara just keeps quiet with her hood on and just looks around here and there.
You see Letty sit down as well. And this is not the first time that she's doing this, but she kind of like, as she's sitting down, you kind of like see her hands just like sitting almost in air. So there's like a good like 20 centimeters between her lap and where her hands are. And she's just like, seems to be petting something, but to you it just seems like it's thin or like just nothing. There's nothing there, but she's just sitting and petting something as if it's there.
Parak looks around and finds a wooden chair. He was getting ready to sit down, and apparently he found the one chair that that was not structurally sound, and ends up accidentally breaking it, falling
And
backwards.
and with that moment,
Inara.
as you sit down and there's almost this rupturous crack that rings out across, and you just stack it and fall to the floor, you do notice the hubbub and the chaos almost seems to freeze as 99% of the heads in the room turn to look over at the noise, see you and the chair, you lying on the floor, the chair in pieces, slowly turn back and continue on with their conversations and wherever they were heading to. There's just this moment of silence as everyone just stops and turns and then carries on.
Inara turns to look and just quietly says, "You alright?"
Yeah, I'm fine. It's nothing like a little bit of an embarrassment. And poor craftsmanship. And he starts to get up, and there's like little wood splinters and stuff kind of just hanging onto his clothes here and there.
You
Letty
know,
just
term
snorts
first
and-
appearances. I think you smashed it.
Oh god.
Parak looks at him and just gives him a little bit of a chuckle.
And as this is happening, the elven woman that you saw just a moment ago returns and says, "Yes, they will see you now, if you would like to follow me." She has kind of this complete professional composure to her. Even as she looks to you, Parok, as you get up off of the floor with this splintered chair all around you, her face doesn't waver or shift. She's perfectly composed.
All right, well, guys, I think it's time to go and Meet the people. Meet the guy.
Okay.
Gents first.
I'll just sort of go, oh, as I stand up. And just go, there we go.
And with that, she leads you further into the actual citadel itself. You follow a few different corridors, go up a flight of stairs, down a couple more corridors, and you're led into what seems to be this conference room.
Oh, hang on there, Therese. Hang on. And I pull out a splinter.
She simply waits for a moment until you have pulled out the splinter, gives you a nod, and continues on. As she leads you into said room, you do see that there are various chairs that are kind of laid around this room, all of which will be structurally sound. And one is occupied on the other side of the desk from the rest of these chairs. You see a figure. It's difficult to be able to ascertain anything about them. They are dressed in very nondescript black robes, and on their face is a rather adorned, beautiful and yet still rather plain black mask. And as you all enter, they simply gesture to the chairs in front of them.
Barack just says, "Well, I mean, if she's inviting, or if they're inviting me, might as well go on and sit down." And just walks forward, pulls the chair, and sits down without it breaking this time.
Yep, it holds your weight wonderfully. They do not proceed until everyone has taken a seat.
Letty sits with her hands in the hair again, seemingly stroking something.
And Nora just quietly takes a seat.
And I'll take the final one.
Wonderful. Before this individual says anything, they just sit for a minute, kind of appraising each of you. You see them staring at you, Parok, taking in your armor, your weapons, your race and your build, kind of the things that typically are noticed first about you. But then their eyes stay on you, and they seem to be reading you as best as they can. It's a little unnerving, but the sensation passes when they move on. And this
Hello? Letty just like clicks her fingers.
their eyes are drawn to you, and they take in you and your appearance. And for a moment, you notice their eyes focus on your hands, or perhaps what they're resting on. Their eyes move on again, taking in Inara, and they take the longest set of time just simply observing Michael.
Michael is unaware of their staring, but there is a moment where he'll feel like he's being watched. He'll just take the maraca out, and then just go, and then look up, go, oh, sorry.
The head tilts ever so slightly when you do that, as if they see something spark within you, some kind of joy that seems to bring some life to your soul, as you ring and shake those maracas.
I'll lean on my quarterstaff instead and go, sorry.
And they start to speak. Thank you, each of you, for meeting me here. I, like some others, are one of the masked lords of Waterdeep. Now, I have heard of your deeds, and I have heard of your conduct, and I would like to thank you for what you have done for our city in apprehending such a dangerous individual. A full investigation has been launched into how this individual found their way in and out of the city, and there are various investigations into different avenues that they may have taken whether that be through bribery, through legal means, or perhaps through the underbelly of the city. Nevertheless, you did us a duty and a service, and I would like to thank you for that. So, in your own words, I would like you to tell me what happened last night.
I was lining up a satyr here, and then all of a sudden, someone got shivved. So we went after him. Something about and Letty, like she knows that this person is paying attention to them, but she still like she makes that effort to like something about Raphael sends his regards, and then off he went.
I would like you, Letty, to make an insight check after saying that. It is a rather high DC to succeed on, and I will tell you more once you've rolled.
No, actually, I'm going to do it. Okay, it's going to be high or low. So perception, yeah,
Insight, if you wouldn't mind.
insight. See, I would have preferred. Hang on. I believe it's just +2.
So I believe you're proficient, so let me just double check your character sheet here, but I believe you
Yeah.
have a +4 to insight.
Oh yeah,
Yes, +4.
+4. That is a dirty 20 then.
Dirty 20. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So, it is incredibly hard to read anything about this individual because they are wearing a mask to cover all of their face, and they are wearing robes to cover all of their body. The only thing that you can use to ascertain anything about this person is their eyes. And as you say the name Raphael, you see a glimmer of recognition and then hatred within those eyes. Yes, well, we have had similar reports in regards to a particular name that has been shouted. Rest assured, we are investigating this, and we are putting all of our efforts into finding out who this individual is.
Well, it seems like we might have common interests in that case.
Perhaps. We will see with time.
Michael is making all the effort now not to be looking at the Earth Lord. Last time, like earlier when they were watching him, it was definitely unintentional. Now it is
Now
obvious
he's just-
it's
yeah.
now it's intentional. But he's still acting like he's not paying attention.
Is there any more details that you're wishing to advise me of that we should add to our reports in regards to the individual you apprehended?
No, I don't believe so. What I would like to ask though, because we were the ones to apprehend this particular individual. Instead of gold, I would like to have his jacket, please.
The individual's jackets.
Yep.
I'm sure certain arrangements can be made.
Brilliant.
And you see they just kind of reach across and take a quill from a stand and just write the words jacket on a piece of paper before replacing the quill.
To double check something.
Barack kind of sits there for a moment. He starts thinking. He's like, "Is Brian's wife going to get anything out of this outside of maybe knowing who this person is, or any type of
Yes, Brian's case is an interesting one. Brian has many benefactors who he has made very good friends with. A significant amount of money has been raised to be able to assist Brian and his family in the coming times.
Barack just kind of nods and just kind of agrees silently.
Hound, does Perrock still have the note with the Raphael name on them? Or was that left at the air?
That would be down to Perrock as to whether he kept that slip of paper or not.
I don't remember a piece of paper.
You had Raphael's name written down, didn't you? Oh no, it was you had the symbol written down. The symbol
Yeah,
showing.
I think I had like the symbol, but I don't remember the name.
No, I think it was just during the discussions earlier.
Yeah.
that it was referred
I wrote
to.
down the name so I didn't have to say it out loud,
Yes.
and I showed it to people.
At the
Asking.
breakfast table,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you should still have that then, Michael. I'd assume.
I'm going to put my hand behind my back, cast Mage Hand, right where my hand is, so when I move it's right where I cast it. Have it
Okay.
hold the note, write something on it, and then float it very discreetly towards one of the three. If that's okay.
Okay. Let's
Whilst
roll
looking
a
like
d6
I'm
to find out.
absent-minded still. Like, I'm still going, hold on.
Okay,
Cracker,"
so in
yeah.
that sense, I will need a performance or deception check. I'll leave you to choose which.
Let's
Or
go.
sleight of hand, I'd say. I'll give you the choice of 3.
It's fine. I think as a reveler, actually get a performance.
Yeah,
Almost and persuasion. Yeah, I don't know why I've got
wonderful.
those ticked up. Yep.
That's all
That's
good.
fine.
Whilst you sort that out, I'm going to roll a d6 and see who the note gets passed to. Okay, so that's a 2, so it'll be the first person on my list there, which is
12.
Inara. So that's a 12. Let's see. Okay. It seemingly goes unnoticed. But the note is passed over to Inara. I'm guessing you're typing that just in the chat there.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. But yes, they do kind of... They seem curious in the request for the jacket, and they do seem to ponder it for a few moments. Kind of, you almost take advantage of that moment to pass the note over. And so they look up. And so, is there any other requests that any of you wish to make about me? Or of me, even?
Can I ask something out of character?
Yeah, for sure, dude.
Who has the green vials, the dark green vials?
I do.
Yes, I'm fairly certain Letty is the one that picks those up, so they'll still be with Letty.
Okay. All right. I remember I wrote it down, but I didn't write down who actually was holding it. But,
Yeah, no, that's all
Yeah.
good.
I
Alright,
rifled through his pockets and I grabbed them.
All right. Okay, I'm good. Back in.
And the masked figure turns to look to each of you. So Anara, you have been given a note there from Michael. Do you see that in the chat bot?
Oh,
It's just underneath the rolls there.
yeah, I had the wrong tab open.
That's all good, that's all good. But yes, you have read that note, and
Yes.
they
Nora reads the note and thinks for a second, not really knowing whether she should ask or not. So she stays quiet.
Okay. The masked lord that is sat on the seat in front of you kind of waits a few more moments to see if anyone else does pipe up.
Excuse me, Sir Masked Lord. Do you have a proper name? Because calling you Masked Lord just sounds way too pretentious.
The City of Splendor is pretentious, my dear. I am
Okay.
simply one of the Masked Lords. We are supposed to be unknown. We are supposed to have identities hidden. As much as I would like to, I would not be able to share that information with you. I physically cannot share that.
What's the purpose of being this Masked Lord, if I may ask?
There is one unmasked lord, the High Lord of the city, and a council of masked lords, all of which work in tandem to do what is best for the city in regards to the governance of the city, the protection of the city, and various other things from in which different masked lords have expertise. You can get from the sense of this conversation, they're basically being like, we're the people that run the government and stuff. Like, we're the people that make all the big decisions about everything. And it kind of dawns on all of you, this is actually a really, really important figure. They very much played it down and haven't made a big deal out of anything. But it kind of clicks for all of you. Oh shit, like, this is one of the lords of the city.
Okay.
Michael goes. Casts detect magic around with his left hand,
Okay.
using the staff. Just taps it on the ground, whispers, "Follow." Not try to do it stealthily, just to determine, like,
Does,
if this is someone this powerful. Just wants to get an insight of the type of magics that are surrounding them, possibly.
Okay.
Does Letty would Letty notice this?
I will ask for a sleight of hand from you there, Michael, just so that this decides whether Letty would see this or not.
Possibly.
Sleight of hand. Cool. Letty, could I have you make a perception check?
Oh yes, please.
I know perception is one of your good ones, but it's the exact.
Oh no! It's
Lady Trickery wins again!
No, but it's this isn't saved. On the roll 20, survival is 6, and perception is 4, so it should be +2, so 11. It should be 11.
Okay, is it the wrong way round? Is it on?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, I can change
But
that
I
around
mean,
for you. Oh, it's the expertise is in perception, not survival. Cool.
Yeah.
2 seconds. There we go. That goes to normal.
It should be 6 if of expertise.
Yep. So it'd be +6, so it would be a total of 11.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that does not beat the 12 that was rolled for the sleight of hand.
Damn it.
So there you go. So yeah, that's.
I
showing
was going to help you out, okay?
No, it's all good. But Michael, You managed to hide casting Detect Magic. And I'm going to steal you into the DM Secrets chat. Hello, Michael.
Hello, gods of gods.
So, as you cast Detect Magic, it has been a while since you have cast this spell, and it is a while since you have beheld magic with your own eyes. The magic that affronts your eyes as you do so is very strong, almost blinding. You can tell that great power does in fact emanate from this being, although not from them themselves, but from things that they carry on them. The robes themselves are enchanted, and you can tell with rather strong transmutation magics. The mask has various different layers of enchantment, most of which that you can kind of extract. Rather than the skull, you can tell it's very much a protective abjuration forms of magic, with other bits sprinkled in there. There's definitely more, but without identify, you wouldn't be able to tell. But yes, you are almost blinded by this for a moment. And as you look at this individual and you look around the room, you notice another source of magic. Where Letty is sat, her hands resting on what seems like thin air, there is not an extremely powerful source, not like the Masked Lord in front of you, but there is a source of magic, of energy, sat in her lap. You cannot tell what it is, but something is there. You just cannot see it with your naked eye.
God of gods, what have you put me in? This is my mind's.
You're like, oh no.
Yeah, this is my internal head, which is not old or sounding slow. It's actually what he thinks he sounds like. God of gods, what have you put me in today? Seems like we're going straight into the deep end. Well. Let's cause some fun.
And I'll move you back into the chat now.
Mm-hmm.
And we're back. Thanks for holding
Ah.
on there.
Excellent. Excellent.
Sort of, as I sort of cast this magic, sort of, Michael sort of almost has a sort of, someone looks like he's being blinded by something, just goes, oh! Oh. Sorry, old man things. Oh. And then I stare at Letty's lap a little and goes, No, sorry. I haven't seen much enchantment magic in that much abjuration for a very long time. As I look back to the Masked Lord.
You can tell, even though the mask is covering the entirety of their face, they are smirking slightly, having seen your reaction. Apologies. I was unaware that any of you were magically inclined. Otherwise, I would have warned you that viewing enough magic can be a little blinding for a moment.
Oh, don't you apologize, sir. Don't you apologize. My mistake, of course. But it does give you credit on who you say you are.
Yes, well, the thing of
This-
Masked Lords is you can never know truly who we are and whether we are who we say we are. But you'll
Don't
know
worry,
through
I
your
have-
fate to the city whether we are who we say we are.
at least I have no intention of knowing who you are. I'm just curious, and that can sometimes bite me. And then I sort of just go back into smiley mode and give a half smile to Letty, and then just let everything else carry out.
Okay. Well, they kind of look to each of you to see if there's any more requests that anyone wants to make of them.
Yeah, so, what now? I mean, technically that guy was ours, but you've taken him, so
Yes,
what
as
now?
per the law of the city, we have taken him in for questioning. You will be rewarded, and should you wish to continue to work in a capacity alongside the guard of the city investigating such a matter, we can have people send for you when matters requiring your attention arise.
This kind of feels like we're being told to just bugger off.
I would say it's just being told to have patience.
Yeah, I'm not very good at that.
It's fine, I'll wait for you.
We will call for you, Lethista. That is not a concern to have.
Michael scowls at that. Oh.
Baraka just had been sitting there the entire time, just kind of watching everything unfold without really knowing where to interject himself, or even if he should.
Well, come on, tough guy. Think we're meant to be off then. So yeah, Letty just like claps Parok's shoulder and then stands up and starts to make her way away.
Before you go,
Don't forget about my
And-
jacket though.
from within their robes, they draw a pouch. You can hear the crinkling of coin within, and they place it down on the desk in front of whoever's closest. I don't know who's closest right now. And they turn to you, Lethista. Return this afternoon. Declare your name to the receptionist, and they will, perchance, have the jacket ready for you.
Very good. Thank you.
And given that Barack was probably the last one to stand up, he reaches forward, grabs the pouch, and turns and walks with the group.
It's a decent weighted pouch. There's a very good number of coin within.
Michael, just as they leave, just sort of turns to sort of look at the masked lord, and then has a half smile, just go, very interesting.
Their eyes do watch each of you leave as they sit fully composed, simply watching, their eyes tracking each of you as you leave. And with that, you find yourselves back out in the corridor again. The same elven lady waiting for you. Ah, well, it seems that all the business has been concluded, as of for now. Please allow me to show you back to the lobby. And she leads you off, taking you back to the lobby of the Citadel.
Yes, most of it is done, but I'm going to come back later on today to claim a jacket. Are you going to be here?
I will be, yes, I am here all day, and I shall look
Okay.
forward to seeing you.
What's your name, sorry? Just so
My
I'd know
name-
who to
my
ask
name?
for. Yes.
Avariel.
How do you spell that, sorry?
A-V-A
Uh-huh.
R-I-E-L.
Thanks. Okay, cool, thanks. That's
Not a
brilliant.
problem.
Thank you very much.
That's quite alright. Well, I wish you all a wonderful day, and I bid thee farewell. And she kind of gives a curtsy, a nod of her head, kind of just to signify that the conversation's over, and she turns back to her desk there. So,
Once we're actually outside, I make sure that there's no one nearby to actually overhear us. And then I turn to Michael to ask, you saw something.
I saw several things. Which things do you want to know about? Well, I guess you know about one of them, but I won't mention that to anyone.
Letty half smiles. Yes, the things that I need to know about.
I was suspicious on the gentleman or lady, whoever was talking to us.
None
So
of you could get a sense.
I was playing around more than I should have, perhaps, in such a person's presence, and tried to determine or reveal any nature of magic around us. I was met with more than I was expecting, really. Lots of powerful magical items on their person gives them credit to say who they are.
Anything specific?
Mainly around the schools of abjuration and enchanting, particularly on the mask and robes. The mask had a fair amount of abjuration, and robes had a fair amount of enchantment magic, so protective items most likely. As long as the schools of magic haven't changed since I came back, which would be a real scary thing. Imagine evocation being used to create shields. Oh, wait. Oh.
Sorry, that's very out of character right now, but.
Well, I have just glanced at time. It is 20 past 11 for us UK folk here.
Yep.
I feel like this may be a good time to wrap it up. We can carry on and do a bit of shopping if people want, but I don't want to keep anyone too late.
I'm very fine to keep going.
Haven't
I'm
keeled
good.
over yet, so if you start hearing snoring on this side, that might be.
Completely fair. Cool. Well, we're gonna take a quick 5 minutes then, and
Okie doke.
yeah. Whilst I do disappear, all of you can discuss and decide on what you're going to do within the city now. Now that you're free with a bag of coin in your hands. Just so that you know how much is in there, Perrock, when you do take a look, you can tell that there's between 350 and 400 gold in this pouch. Quite a hefty sum.
Not bad.
Yes. I'll be back in a moment, folks. Right, give me just a few minutes, folks, and then we'll be back to it to continue on with our little session here. Much love. Okay, I'm back, folks. We're going to go ahead and hop back into Discord and continue on with this. How's everyone doing before I do so? I appreciate each and every one of you coming to hang out tonight. I know that I haven't been able to talk to you as much, but I hope you've been enjoying the content that we've been making. It definitely does take time and effort and work to be able to create a story as such, to find some people that are willing to join you in telling it. And I know that myself and all of the players have certainly been enjoying playing, but also enjoying the fact that all of you are being able to experience this as well. So again, I hope you are enjoying it.
Okay, cool.
So it
Hey folks, I'm back.
does damage.
Eh,
I'm just
Welcome.
getting all of us to buy Alchemist Fire for reasons that you don't need to know about.
Reasons! Yeah, no, that is all good. So, have you decided on what you want to do? A party set loose in the city of Waterdeep.
We are going shopping.
Hey, incredible. So,
best
any
best time for the DM.
yeah, anyone looking for any type of specific shop is going to be my first question there.
I think we decided that we need some healing because we don't have like any healing potions or anything right now. But like anything with mildly magical abilities would be of interest,
Okay.
I think.
So,
But that's just
just
me.
for expediency, you can ask some passers-by and the guards outside as to where you would find somewhere that you could buy either healing potions or magical items and such. And you are given the name of an emporium within the South Ward. The name? The Unknown Arcanum. You are told that there is an Azamar, a protector angel, angelic figure that runs the establishment, and
As soon as I know the location, Michael just storms off to find it. The moment they hear the word Azamar.
So yeah, they kind of give you directions as to where to find it, kind of give you a little description of the Azamar within the Unknown Arcanum, and kind of send you on your way. It does take a little bit of time, perhaps maybe 20 minutes, half an hour or so to make your way through the city, following the directions that you're given.
Fun fact for people following Michael, he's actually moving faster than most people at this time. He's been walking pretty slow all this way, and then the moment he hears something he wants or to see something, he just moves a lot faster.
He's just like,
It's-
oh?
It's like using the staff to move quicker.
So yes, if you are following after Michael to the Unknown Arcanum, it will take you kind of moving at pace to keep up with Michael. You would be needing to kind of almost dash to be able to keep up with him. He is on the move.
Letty's really, really thrown by this, but she's following along.
Goat hooves.
Yep.
Rock will follow.
It's almost like a click clock, like a good rhythm. You can hear
Yeah.
a maraca occasionally go.
And so, as you continue through the city, searching for this place you've been told of, you find yourselves travelling down a street. As you look to your left, you see this absolutely gorgeously designed building in front of you. The architecture itself, it's predominantly wooden with various carved beams, but these carved beams are purple. The wood looks not like it's been stained, but as if that is its actual colour. There's various windows that lead into the actual building itself, as well as the main door, and through which you can see various trinkets and magical items, weapons across one wall. You see that there's various different pieces of equipment and armour, sets of gloves, pair of boots. There's all sorts that you can be found in there. And actually, in the window, you can see that there is a small, almost cooking pot with a spoon that slowly stirs itself. So you can certainly tell this is definitely a magical place. And as you look at the actual kind of banner, the banner sign that hangs above your heads, you see that it says Unknown Arcanum. The symbol is a very, very intricate looking kind of runic sphere, and just to one side of said runic sphere there is the shape of a dog, but the interior colouring of it has been coloured almost to look like stars in a night sky.
Wow. To see stars here.
Michael's like a child who wants to go in.
Are you just going straight in, are you, Michael?
Yeah, like no one's stopping him. He's just going.
Wonderful. So as you do enter, a small bell rings above the door. You glance up. There's no bell there. Huh. Okay. But you glance around, and again, seeing everything in this room reinforces how much magic is held here. Even without using your detect magic, you can feel the sense of magic in each and every one of these items. Some of them are going for thousands upon thousands of golds. Some of them look to be a little bit cheaper. As you would know, there are various different levels to enchantments. The rarer, the more expensive. But yes.
I ain't looking for any of these items. I'm looking for a person.
As you enter, the doorbell rings and a waft of almost arcane charged aromas start to fill the room. You smell various herbs and flowers, and as you're kind of glancing around, you can't see anyone, but your nose almost guides you. And over to one side of the room, there is almost like a bead curtain leading into the back. And as you kind of just peer a little closer, you can see, emerging from within, a figure. He smiles, and you can see the angelic looks on his face really start to show through. Give me a second, I have this written down. So, pink straight hair is pulled back over his head to reveal a full radiant face. Gorgeous brown eyes are set narrowly within their sockets as he watches cheerfully over both the street outside that he's come to love for so long, and the potential new customers, new clients that have just walked through his door. You see, standing before you is a Protector Aasimar, a celestial mortal, as it were. Someone touched by the Celestials and brought into this world. You can see the shimmering white waves of feathers that protrude from their back as their wings stretch and move, almost independently to them moving. And he smiles at you. Welcome to my Arcanum.
Would, this is like out of character question, would he know Celestial?
You would assume so, yeah. Aasimar are most definitely a Celestial-esque race. You would definitely kind of know that.
In that case, Letty goes in Celestial. Good day, sir.
And he replies in Celestial. And good day to you, madame. Now, it has been a while since I have spoken the mother tongue. It is great to meet another who can. And then
How about two? I say in Celestial.
He turns and the joy is just evident on this man's face. He is overjoyed at this. He's like, fantastic, fantastic. And he looks to the two others that are in the party and then continues to speak in common. But alas, I would not want to segment out any one member of your little party here. Who may I have the pleasure of speaking to as a group?
With a
I-
curt nod, I'm Letista.
Michael seems a bit too stunned to speak at the moment.
Lethista, my dear. What a beautiful name. It certainly suits you. And he turns and kind of eyes up Parok, who... This guy's tall, but he ain't Parok tall. So he does still
Mhm.
look up to you with a smile on his face. My good man, it has been many a year since I have seen a Goliath pass through this part of the city. How are you? How has your travels been?
I'm doing well. I appreciate you for asking. And as you know, traveling abroad from the homeland, there's been some ups, there's been some downs, but we still made it here in the end.
Of course, as there always is with the journey in life that we take. And finally, he turns to Inara.
Huh?
He just turns to you as, hello.
Ivara, not really knowing what to do, just stands and gives like a little tiny wave, just goes, hello.
And you see his face kind of relaxes a little as he smiles. You're kin to
Could
the
I,
forest, aren't you? Looking to Inara. This is not your usual scene, I take it.
No, not really.
He nods, and with a wave of his hands, the image on the other side of the glass, looking out, shifts and changes. And looking out of the window, you can see a beautiful forest filled with verdant greens and almost bright limes. There's so much colour held within the panes of glass in the windows there. And he smiles. Perhaps that will put you a little more at ease. Now, how can I help each and every one of you? And he kind of turns, realising Michael hasn't said anything. Are you
Michael
okay there,
has
my
big-
good sir?
Michael has big, wide eyes, like just staring at the Zazzamar with just pure joy. Like,
Oh,
and just sort of kind of back to his senses, goes,
oh, sorry. Oh, I am Michael. I am honored to be in your presence. I do not recall us seeing one of your kind in a very, very long time. And they are always a grand blessing. So much I just want to...
Bloody hell.
He smiles and raises a hand a little as you're kind of gushing about how great they are and stuff. He's like, please, I'm just a humble merchant.
Would
It
I
is
be
true.
able to do a check? Basically, like if he's putting on this persona to make a sale, or whether he's being genuine.
Yep, that would be an insight check.
Oh, that's not going to be good. Insight 10.
10. Okay. I mean, he seems genuine. He doesn't seem to have given you a reason not to feel that way. He doesn't seem to be trying to hide anything in the way he speaks, or he's being open, honest, and forthright with everything, from what you can tell.
Yeah.
Yes, well, his face kind of dips a little bit. There aren't many of us who walk within the mortal planes. But it is always nice for someone to recognise, perhaps not the race itself, but at least what we represent. I kind of
Oh, I
bows
very
his
much
head.
know what you represent. You represent a lot of things, but at least most of them are positive.
Aye, I do tend to try to embody the positive ones. And so he kind of looks you all. Now, you have found myself here, in my Arcanum. My name is Mikael. How is it that I can assist you?
Damn.
Brock just kind of looks at him and then looks over at Michael. I'm like, in his inner monologue, he's like, these guys have similar names.
You brothers, or
He kind
Just
of
like-
appraises Michael for a moment. I don't believe so. The only kin I tend to have are other celestial beings, and no offense to you, my good friends, but you certainly seem more Fey-touched than celestial.
I go, well, and I light my horns up a little bit, just to prove a point that he'll probably get what I'm trying to point at.
Of course. And he kind of gives you a knowing look and a nod, clearly signifying he understood what you were trying to refer to there.
And then just turn the lights off. I'd be like, I didn't all come here just to gush at you either, though. Good sir, we are new to Waterdeep and have already been faced with its dangers.
A party that in Waterdeep that I haven't met yet? Oh, what a day this has turned into! So please, regale me with your stories. What has been going on with you all?
we haven't done much so far.
Ah, humble beginnings and all that. I understand, I understand. There may still be greatness for you in the future, who knows? You don't have to be great from the start. These things can take work.
I'm going to get a jacket, so yep.
A jacket can keep you warm in an evening.
Michael sort of walks around. He goes, well, I'm not looking for anything specific, but there will be at some point soon, maybe, where I'll need to collect certain materials for certain spells. What those spells might be, I'm not too sure. Would I be able to procure them from yourself, or would I have to go to another purveyor?
Of course you would be able to. I'm assuming you are referring to arcane components for various spells. We stock, and when I say this, I literally mean this. We stock everything that could be used for spells up to the 8th sphere of magic. Should you require arcane components, I will most certainly be able to provide them.
Why isn't that just fantastic and convenient? What about magical inks?
And I point to my book.
That is not something that I tend to stock, per se. But it is certainly something that would be able to either be made or ordered for you.
Okie dokie. Other than that, I believe we were talking about survivability.
Ah. So you have found yourselves in some danger recently, I take it, and you're looking for something to aid you in the future.
Yes, that.
Wonderful. Well, let me see what I have. And he kind of walked back over to kind of the desk at the back of the room, pulling out a few wooden, almost crates from underneath and placing them on the desk. And as he opens them up, you see inside, laid upon various soft furnishings within, are various different bottles. Most of which you all would recognise as either simple or perhaps slightly more powerful healing potions. A couple of them you don't quite recognise. So, is this in the remit that you were looking for, or was there perhaps something else?
Oh, very much. The ones that can keep the vitality alive.
Aye. Well, these would certainly be what you're looking at. And he kind of gestures to one of the crates, which has various different healing potions in. He gestures to the smaller of the bottles. Now, these are the standard. Excuse me. These are the standard potions of healing. The ones that would be able to repair some nasty wounds, but perhaps not restore you back to your full health. If you were looking for something to bring you back from the brink, as it were, and restore you back to full, you'd perhaps look at one of these superior potions to assist you. Now, these aren't cheap, I must warn you, but who can put a price on keeping you alive? And he kind of smiles a little bit. Now, the standard potions are 100 gold each, but before that, I have a proposition for each of you. Now, you all seem like the adventuring lot, you'd say?
I mean, that's why we're here.
And travelling far and wide, bringing fame to your own name. You would certainly need more provisions and supplies for such a thing, no?
Eventually, I would assume you all would be proven right.
Well, I do have a little offer for you all. Now you see, I look out for the adventurers of the city, because without the people going out to do the dirty work, let's say, who would keep us safe at home? So, you've also rather charmed me, you two, and he kind of gestures to both you, Letty, and Michael, in speaking the mother tongue. I was not expecting that. So, what I propose, I will give you discounts on my wares, on the items within my stores across the world. 20%? And in exchange, it's simple. You must simply wear my branding. And he gestures to a banner that's hanging up that holds the same symbol as the one that's on the banner sign outside.
Basically, be a walking, talking Nike commercial.
You are walking advertisements for this man, yes, but you do get 20% off in store, so...
Okay, how obvious is this?
It does not have to take over your entire look. I completely understand, Lethista, that everyone has their own look, and they do not wish to deviate too much from that. But perhaps a scarf as such. And he kind of waves his hands, and around his own neck this scarf seems to form, and at the bottom of it you see the emblem. No bigger than a few inches, 3 inches wide maybe. But it is clear, it is fairly bright in colour. It doesn't... It stands out, but it doesn't stand out as you're taking over your style, if you know what I mean. It would be noticeable, but not necessarily deviating too much from the look that you want. And I can apply this branding to any item of clothing that you wish. Or armour.
Okay.
And he looks to Parok.
Hang on. So Letty turns around and looks at everyone like, okay, if this is going to be a thing, Gamgwin said that I have a habit of just going on and doing my own thing and not talking about stuff.
As I say this, I've really got my maraca out, holding out for the brand.
Say again.
You do notice Mikael kind of holds off for a moment, allowing you all to discuss it before actually branding your maraca.
So Parok finally, he kind of thinks about it. He's looking to the group and says, "To wear a symbol in a way means that we are pledging ourselves to that symbol. The people around us are going to associate us with that symbol, whether that is good or bad. Are you guys willing to give up your freedom for that symbol?"
Been there, done that. Give me brand.
Mikhail does chuckle when you do mention that, Parok. Yes, you do raise a very valid point, my large friend. But let me counter with this. My name has brought good reputation to itself in various different cities across this land. Perhaps wearing that branding could help you in the future. Who knows? It may be just the end that you need with certain people.
Brock starts thinking about it furthermore, and
Do you have any
he's-
enemies?
Other than the generic devilish and demonic ones hating Celestials? No. No, there is nobody
Okay.
specifically I have made an enemy with.
Basically, what I'm trying to gauge is if we were
How
to...
dangerous is this to wear this branding?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
So, from what you can tell with this conversation with him, yes, it is a marking, it is a branding, but it isn't a pledge, it isn't allegiance. It's simply to say that you are adventurers that have been almost sponsored by him.
Okay,
You've
yeah.
you've got an ongoing trade agreement with him.
Mhm.
That's kind of the tone of that there.
Gotcha.
So yeah, Paraki's thinking about it further, and he goes, "Well, if what you say is true, then I don't know
Could
if
we maybe
20."
do it for 25%?
Ho ho, bargaining here. Okay.
Rock, is that
25%.
So
Hmm.
yeah, so I was gonna.
For
Rock
30?
mentions 25%, and if you're willing to throw in 4 potions of healing, or 1 for each of us.
Just a simple ones.
You.
Will do.
And he points at you, Parok, kind of with the sly smile on his face. You drive a hard bargain, and I like that. I like you. You know what? Take your 25%, but I have something else on offer rather than those potions. But if you do wish to purchase said potions, the discount will be in place. And you see he reaches under the desk once again. This time, he pulls a small satchel out from his from underneath and lays it on the counter. You can see that it is expertly crafted and has his logo on the front of it. Now this will hold your items for you. It will keep everything you need contained. And it weighs almost nothing. Here, and he throws it to you, Perok. As you catch it, it's barely a couple of pounds. It's really quite light. It's a simple bag. But as you kind of look at it, inspect it, you glance inside. You stare into the void inside this bag. It is just pitch
Never.
black inkiness. Yep. You perhaps don't recognize it, Parok, but Michael, there's something familiar about this type of magic, about what this bag could be. You recognize it as a bag of holding.
Damn it!
Oh. Now that's
So?
a good bargain.
I'll give you some time to decide, and with that, he
Rock,
kind
I
of
swear to
steps
God.
back.
Whatever DT it would actually be, that's, yeah. That's a good
Oh.
deal. Don't be a dum-dum.
Parok turns and looks at the other three and says, "I don't want to be the odd man out. So
I don't
what
want to be
do
that guy, but
what do the other three?
Gives him a
What do
bag
you
of
what do you three
holding.
say?"
I think my intention's quite clear.
Some maracas.
Harak nods. What about you, Latista? Is it Latista?
Me?
Yes. I never actually pronounced it.
Latista, yeah.
Latista.
Okay. Am I okay to come back later on today for this mark?
Yes, of course. Your compatriots, I'm sure, would be carrying it if you accept and you carry the bag with you. I could find
Sure.
that sufficient enough for one of you.
Okay, and what about you, Inara?
I'm quickly out of character. I was just deafened, so I didn't get anything at all for the
no
past
worries.
2-3 minutes.
Yeah, all good. Basically, we've been discussing it as to whether you as a group are going to accept this deal. You've been given 25% off within any of the stores that have been run by Mikael, and he has also offered a very fancy magic bag. And kind of, you've kind of been discussing whether it's worth agreeing to this sponsorship almost to be sponsored by him, or whether it'd be worth not doing so. So kind of Parok should turn to you to ask if what your opinion on it is.
Well, I guess Inara will turn to Parok and go, well, we could use the extra help. I'd say we take the deal.
He's thinking about it, and like he's having this internal debate about kind of giving up a part of himself to wear this brand, wear this symbol. But then he thinks about his past and like how sometimes the one might have to suffer for the good of the many, and he decides that he's gonna go through with it, and he nods and turns back to the Celestial and says, "Okay, I'll do it if the rest do it."
Out of character. Oh, what sacrifice you made there, Hound. What sacrifice you made agreeing to this discount and this bag holding.
Yeah, that's tough. Really freaking
Can we do this with all the stores like in Mass Effect?
You
My
never
name is
know.
Michael, and this is my favorite store in Waterdeep.
Anyway, Mikael turns and smiles. Wonderful. Now, I understand you may need a moment to decide on which you would like your branding. Turning to Michael, he knows that the maraca is almost going to be like thrust into his face, like, here, mark this, please, please. And so he places his hands on top of Michael's maraca, and you see a slight warmth and a slight light come from his hands, and as he moves his hand away, Michael, you see emblazoned on your maraca now is the symbol of Mikael and the unknown arcanum.
I am honored.
No, please, I am honored. And he turns to the rest of you. Now, have you decided what it is that you wish to carry with my branding on?
I'll bring you a jacket later on in the day.
Of course, of course. He turns to look to you, Brock. Well, I understand your concerns. Perhaps simply keep the bag on yourself, good sir.
Okay.
And then he turns to Inara.
Gotta make this quick because I got a phone call suddenly. Would my hood work? I don't really carry much on me.
No, of course. Anything that you would like would work. So he reaches forward and just with a single finger kind of presses at the bottom of your hood, kind of where it comes to a close at your neck. And just within kind of the inch or two of fabric that hangs down, you see forming and finely emblazoned is the logo of the unknown arcanum. And with that, he smiles and claps his hands together. And you said you wanted 4 healing potions?
Yep.
Well, applying your discount there, that would be 300 gold for the 4 of them.
So Parak pulls open the satchel that was given to them earlier, and says, "If you guys are cool with it, we'll just use the money that we just got to pay for them."
That's fine by me.
So he
Yes,
reaches
of
in
course.
and starts fiddling around, pulling out the coins, totaling at least 300.
Wonderful. So yes, you hand over the 300 gold. Inside that pouch that you have, Hound, there is 75 gold coins left. So in total you were paid 375 gold from the Master Lord. So he gratefully accepts the 300 gold, hands over 4 potions, kind of all 4 in one hand, and he extends it across to all of you as a group, so that however you want to divide it, you can. If everyone's going to take 1, each of you can grab 1, kind of thing.
Parak reaches out and takes one.
If I'm okay to have one as well?
Yeah, no, it's one for everyone.
I'll take one as well, thanks.
Wonderful. So they get handed out to everyone there. And he claps his hands together. Well, I don't suppose you would have time for a spot of tea?
Oh, I would happily take some.
He does
Just
sound nice right now.
add a character real quick. Do we need to add these to our item list?
Yes, so I actually have a sheet called Party Gear, which I can now show to the players and make visible. I can now edit it and make sure that all players can edit it as well. So there is now a sheet for any party gear that each of you are putting into kind of the group kind of collection. The bag of holding that you've got there will be able to hold kind of pretty much whatever you need. So anything that's the group kit that you put into the bag of holding must be put on this sheet. In regards to those potions that each of you have got, make a note of it on your character sheet under your equipment that you have 1 standard healing potion.
How do we edit the party gear?
So you should see it under handouts there. I have just changed it so that it should be editable by anyone, and it should just be you click edit at the top there.
Where is it again?
So if you look at the journal area, just where your character sheets are, it should be in the handout area underneath that.
It's not coming up anymore.
There it is. You have to click on the actual journal tab.
Mm-hmm.
And then it
And
should
then-
show your character, and then below that it'll say handouts.
Yeah, you may just need
And-
to click the plus next to handouts for it to show the thing there.
Yeah, I can see it. I'm clicking on it, but nothing's happening. It was there,
Okay.
and then I closed it, and now it's not coming back up again.
Okay, we will
So,
figure that one out.
I just,
That sounds like it's like a technical issue. So
I just
will
added
figure that
the
out.
75 gold and the bag of holding to the party gear.
Fantastic. So yeah, everyone should see that. What we can do, if people prefer, we
Oh, there
can
we go.
nominate 1 person to update the
Okay.
sheet. You know, what I'd suggest is perhaps the person who's carrying the bag, which it would then be Hound. Everyone will still have access to it, but it'd just be, you know, if you pass something over to Parok to put in the bag, you would obviously say, hey Parok, can you put this in the bag, blah, 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 and then Hound would know to make a note of it. If you're grabbing anything
Okay.
out, you would have to say, can I have this out of the bag, or I reach over and reach into the bag to take this.
Gotcha.
Okay. So do I need to add the bag of holding to my item list?
I would put the bag on your item list just because the party gear is more what is contained within the bag. kind of just the group belongings, as it were.
Okay.
Wonderful. Well, on that note, as you all sit down for tea with Mikael, that's where we'll end the session, because I've just seen it is gone midnight.
Yeah, I was like, my dinner's getting ready.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Obviously, we do want to try to start a little earlier. Again, today, that was on me. I asked all of you if we could start later because I was running late myself. But we're here, we've done it. I hope all of you players had a fantastic time with that. Everyone in chat, I hope that all of you had a fantastic time just hanging out and listening into all of that. Because I know that I did. So, you know,
Yeah, it's
been
been
great
great.
fun.
Been real. It's been fun.
It's been good. Thank you, Seb.
That's
Yeah.
quite alright. Absolutely not a bother. We will not be running next week because both Raz and myself are away. The week after Raz is working, but can I get kind of a show of hands who could potentially make that week? Because now we've done session 1, I may be able to work around people not being here at certain times by catching them and doing kind of an extra little session for something. We may continue on.
So you're saying October 1st?
Yes. October 1st. Would everyone be free?
Okay. So yeah, in theory, I should be good. I will not be able to do October 8th. I'm actually going to be flying out to San Diego that week.
Oh, nice.
Oh, is it the TwitchCon?
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, very
Well,
nice.
I won't know for sure until the 25th of that week.
Okay.
So I'll let you know.
We will play it by ear then for now. If we are one player down and the story allows it to be feasible that I can write something in to have that player or that character be busy with something else, if it's feasible for us to continue, we'll continue one player down. But if we have more than one player that can't make the session, then we'll have to call it, because I wouldn't want to run and have 2 people missing everything. If it's one person, like I said, I can do like a mini session to either catch them up or do something slightly different with them. For example, if we do run on October 1st, I will probably just have Michael hang out with Mikael and stay and keep talking and having tea, whilst the rest of the party goes and does whatever they do.
Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic.
exactly. And I think that's something that Michael would absolutely adore, so it perfectly works.
Yeah.
But yeah, I super appreciate all of you coming and dropping in, spending time for the session, and
No, thank you for persisting. Yeah.
no, that is quite alright. It's always quite fun and refreshing to play the game with new players, people that don't know the game. Raz can definitely agree with this as well. Once you've been playing with a group for so long, you get into particular habits in regards to how the group interacts and things like that, and it's really just refreshing to see some new people kind of doing some role play, seeing how the different characters are coming together and kind of clashing in different ways, or kind of realizing that they're very much alike in other ways, and it's just been really cool seeing like just a new group of characters and a new group of players get together. I've had a blast with it.
Yes.
I hope all of you have. But yeah,
Definitely.
I'm
Alright,
going
yeah,
to
it's
deafen myself
real.
to go. I'm going to deafen myself to go say goodbye to stream. But if you're all around afterwards, I will chat with you all. If not, if you got a dip, no worries. And I will catch you all when I do.
I'm gonna do
Sounds
the
good.
same as Serb. I'm gonna deafen
Fantastic.
myself, and I'll catch you guys in Emma.
For sure. Back in a sec, folks. Well, folks, that was great fun. I hope that everyone really did enjoy the session as much as I did there. We had I felt like there was a lot more that could have happened, but also sometimes it's really good for a group not to be particularly fast at going through various things. They can take the time to actually, you know, get to know each other as players and characters, and that's been an absolute blast. Anyways, we are going to send a raid out. We're going to go show some love. I have just seen that my boy Ryan Ruger is currently live, so I think we'll send some love over his way, go see how he's doing. But yeah, again, I just wanted to take a moment before we do end the stream to thank everyone for coming in and hanging out. I know that Steamy subbed at the start of the stream. Again, super appreciated my guy. Steamy came in with the raid, as did Black Cat, as did Eldon. I appreciate each and every one of yous. Roletti Craft came in with a follow. Again, super appreciated. In the future, I am going to look for ways to see if there's a way that I can still interact with you, chat, without compromising the immersion that we're doing within the game. I will see if it's feasible. I will see if it's possible. If not, it may just have to continue in this fashion as it is, whilst we play through our D&D streams. That may just be the reality of it. Either way, folks, it's been a right blast, and I hope that you have enjoyed being around for it. Gonna send that raid out to Ryan now. Go show him some love. Go let him know how great the session was and how much you enjoyed it. He's currently playing some Risk of Rain 2, and I know that he's been enjoying that. So yeah, let's go show some love, folks. Catch you next time.